Hello and welcome back to my home gym build. This is part 2. In the previous video we saw the excavation of the hole and the slab being laid, etc, etc. I didn't have any videos, unfortunately, of the concrete blocks going down, but I did use hollow concrete blocks, and I reinforced them, backfilled them with concrete, and then I put in some threaded 12mm steel bars in the reinforced concrete blocks to act as anchors for the wall plate, which is what we're seeing here being put on. The wall plates I used were 225mm wide by 45mm thick. They're treated timbers I got direct from a sawmill. I found that getting them direct from a sawmill was more cost effective than getting them from a regular retailer. It's technically not graded timber, but this particular sawmill does provide timber to be graded, but because this is fresh off the sawmill, they're not stamped, so they were a bit cheaper. I think all the timbers cost me around about £900. Had I got them from a regular commercial supplier, Wicks or B&Q or somewhere like that, it would have cost me closer to £2,500 to £3,000 for all the wood. Now, this was mainly done during the back end of the pandemic, so a lot of the timber prices had gone up, and I'd originally had a smaller budget to do this, and I had to look at where I could source materials from that were cheaper, better value, so that was the sawmill option. So what I'm doing here, I'm just cutting the timbers and fitting them to the anchors on the concrete blocks. I did put down a damp-proof course as well. It technically probably didn't need it, but I felt better to be safe than sorry. It also provides a little bit of slip resistance for the wood, so that if it expands or shrinks at any point, it's not in direct contact with the concrete. Concrete has quite a lot of friction, whereas this plastic sort of matting stuff allows it to move a little bit freer. And obviously also it stops any sort of dampness coming up through the wood. The wood is treated anyway, so it technically probably wouldn't have mattered, but I wanted to be safe than sorry. Just to go over the insulation, you can just see the insulation in the picture. The insulation does go down to right to the bottom where the wall meets the slab. I really wanted to isolate it from the ground soil. I wanted it to be a really quite thermally efficient building, and it has proven to be such, so that's good. The design that I've decided to do for the walls, I was really conscious about trying to keep the thermal performance up, so I went for a sort of a dual frame timber, or a double layer timber frame. So there is an inner frame and there is an outer frame. So as I say, the wall plates were a 225mm wide, and the inner frame for the wall, which you're just about to see me putting the corner posts up for, were 150mm wide. So they didn't quite span the full width of the wall plate. The outer frame is 100mm wide, so I used 100mm by 45mm timbers for the outside frame, and I staggered the frame so that there was no thermal bridging. So it was alternate in, out, and that meant that I could place insulation between the inner frame, and I used PIR insulation for that, and on the outside frame, which was only around about 50-60mm of space, I put 50mm of soundproofing. which was a really, really good idea to do, actually. When you're in the gym, the sound, you can't hear what is outside, and when you're outside the gym, you can't hear what's going on inside. So if you have music playing, the neighbours are not going to hear that, and so that was really a really good call for me to do that. So you're just seeing me here putting up and marking on some of the wall structures. I wanted to just try and get, at the end of this day, just a frame done, a sort of a very basic frame. I was kind of running out of daylight hours, so I wanted to get at least the corners all supported. It was quite a lot of hard work. I was doing it all by myself, which I have to say, I've never done something like this on this particular scale. So it was a really a learning experience for me. And because of that, I wanted to measure everything twice, 3 or 4 times even. I wanted to make sure the levels were all correct. I was using a specific type of wood screw, as opposed to nails for this. I wasn't sure whether to go for nails or screws, but I did go for a type of screw that allows a little bit more flexibility, so it kind of acts like a nail. And it might take a bit longer, but I felt it was just a bit more sturdy. So yeah, that's what I did. Anyway, thank you for watching. Tune back in for part 3, and that will hopefully be coming soon.